Hey gang, you ever need an old weathered sign as a movie prop? Here's the steps I take to make my own. I start the process with a sheet of 2 foot by 4 foot plywood where one side of the sheet is fairly smooth. For this project I wanted a tall, narrow sign, so I'm cutting my plywood down to 18 inches by 40 inches. For that I'm going to use my table saw because it gives me a nice clean cut and I'll have a nice smooth straight edge. Next, I've decided on trimming out the sign in 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch square stock. I'm going to take a 1 inch board that I have, cut it down to size, and then rip it on the table saw to give me the final dimensions. I mark the trim to length and then I cut it utilizing my radial arm saw. I test fit the pieces real quick and then get ready to paint. For this project, I decided on a plain white sign with red trim. I apply 2 coats all around and then I wait for it to dry. Next, utilizing a scrap piece of 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch trim, I mark the border of the finished sign. Utilizing this line, I'm going to tape off the outline of the gold border that's going to surround the lettering. I cover the remaining areas, leaving only the outline that I intend to paint. For this sign, I intend on using the Rust-Oleum gold metallic paint for the bulk of the project. 2 coats later and I'm ready to peel off the tape and the paper and see how it looks. The lettering for this project will be 10 inches tall by 6 inches wide with a 2-inch thickness all around. I start by finding the center of the sign and then fleshing out my grid from there. Once I have my grid all laid out, it's time for me to start penciling in the lettering. Next, I repeat the process that I used for the gold border, taping off any areas of the sign that I don't want paint to end up. And again, for the lettering, I'll be using 2 coats of the Rust-Oleum gold metallic paint. Once the paint is dry, I can use a scrap straight edge and a Sharpie marker to outline the entire project. This will give me a little bit more depth on the finished product. I decided for this project that I was going to add a little bit of a 3D feel to the lettering. So I outlined it with a Sharpie and then filled it in with the same red paint that I used for the trim. Once the lettering was done, it was time for me to attach the red trim all around the sign using my brad nailer. To give the sign that weathered feel, I plan on utilizing a wash made of brown and black acrylic paints. I start by applying the wash to all the cracks and crevices, and then following behind with a rag, making sure I wipe up all the excess. Next, with the same wash, I apply streaks, giving it the impression that dirt and dust have washed down the sign. Finally, using my brush, I flick drops onto the sign, giving it that splashed effect. And there you have it, the finished sign. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for future notifications. Talk to you soon.